Now.
So yo guysy sir, we doing our own police chase.
Yeah, man, now I have the TTS on. But what can I say? Alright, we're doing this.
BL says first.
What's up, BL?
Danger Tater say saw shit.
Car chasing these two motorcycles.
Shade _ 1992 say she. Whimsical Quest 661 says oh my god are you kidding me. Scentless _ apprentice says refresh your browser spam. BL says this can only end in tragedy. Shade _ 1992 says see Miss Nashville. BL say shadam. Genus no one says too, that's new. BL say spit
they're
maneuver.
Sticking together. What's up, Bendo? What's up, Sasha? Yeah, so I'm streaming from my phone. It's a little scuffed, but I'm actually out here doing a live stream, IRL live stream on Twitch. But I had to stop. I'm in a parking lot right now, and we are watching this chase.
Whimsical Quest 661 says crime does not take a break. Zigishnin says saw man this is a doozy. Scentless _ apprentice says new prediction up.
I should have turned off the TTS. Alright, guys, I'm gonna have to do it.
Big Merle says did snooze get in a chase after leaving the guitar store. Tosk 91 says you the man snooze.
Okay, we should be good. You can listen to Eliana.
2 minutes for roughing Seishi Ziggy.
Yeah, the TTS keeps going for a minute, but thanks, Scentless, for putting up a prediction. This is crazy.
Scentless _ apprentice says Liana. Our choral says it first guitars and now do we get Eliana?
We do. We have our Eliana here. Oh, look at this. She's speaking in Spanish, but she's here with us. Yeah, Bendo, the prediction's over on Twitch.
Zigishnin says at 2 mins for roughing. Danger Tater say see oh Ziggy.
Ziggy, what's up? I hope they don't try to come and kick me out of this parking spot. If they do, I'll just move, whatever. It looks like there's only one cop based on what we can see. I'm guessing that there's also a police helicopter involved. They don't have to stay on the roads. They're driving dirt bikes out here. Jeez.
ZZ Zerat says over / under 1.5 traumatic brain injuries incoming.
Yeah.
Svoyo guys dirt bikes, no helmets.
Why does this freaking TTS not turn off when I turn it off? Anyway. I just don't know how this one ends. Did the police just give up at some point? I mean, why would they?
Jonathan, this is a new one for me. I'm used to one, but not two, and that's exactly what we have here this afternoon.
Aren't they cute together?
These two young men on what appear to be dirt bikes afternoon making its way here through the East LA area. These two young
Carol Vestoplay 0420 says damn and that looks wild.
Yeah.
pursuit that we first heard about on the 710 freeway near the 60. They were going the wrong way, using the right shoulder to get by some slower moving traffic. Eventually, they transitioned to the 5 freeway before...
Whimsical Quest 661 Sacewars officers John Baker and Frank Poncholoet.
Just a moment ago, there was a unit directly behind them. I don't see the unit right now, but the airship is still overhead, so they're at least in...
Filskizistos who chase together, stay together. Svoyogiziscan you lower the TTS volume. Genus no one says at Whimsical Quest 661 I love that show.
I don't know why
MKRQ says skip still going. Kakak Reamer says WTF happened I come back and there's a chase.
It's off now, so it should stop, but... Yeah, we got a chase now. I was coming out of the guitar store, and I got the notification that we got a chase.
Yeah, they don't see any units directly behind them. So that's
Is it really off? I don't know. Looks like it. Sometimes it lags and keeps going. That's what I thought it was doing, but I guess I need to do it differently.
But we saw a number of close calls. And early on in this pursuit, right before we were overhead, we did hear that they had actually...
I feel like I should move to a different part of this parking lot at least. I'm going to do that.
Motorcycle unit that was chasing them. I did hear, fortunately, the unit said that they were fine, they were code 4, everything was good, but clearly it's been a dangerous one, and these guys aren't going to get away with it because, of course, they did try to injure an officer in that way.
And it provides an interesting dynamic, Eliana, because when we went to you, seconds before we went to you, I saw they were on the sidewalk at one point. Needless to say how reckless and dangerous that is. And then they moved
okay.
Traffic. You know, they can move a lot faster than any cruiser on the ground can.
Absolutely, and that's what's making it so hard to catch up with these guys. Even though they had a unit right behind them, there's really only so much that unit can do. Don't even think about a pit maneuver. They're not going to pit these guys because they could possibly hurt them. So pit maneuver out of the question, no spike strip. So unless these guys fall off their bike or decide to just bring things to a stop, it's really difficult for the officers to get these guys into custody. But they are transitioning now onto the freeway, so they're back on the 10. I really wish in a way that they would stay on the surface streets, because at least when they were on surface streets, they weren't going...
Has to be an easy getaway. Yeah, I kind of think so.
And that just really
I'm surprised they're still like chasing them.
Oh, it absolutely does.
Because yeah, it's hard to catch.
They've split now for just a moment. They're in separate lanes on the freeway. So Eliana, you think at this point the authorities are just thinking, follow them in the airship, try to bring this down a little bit?
Yeah, exactly. So airship only on this one, and we're approaching the East LA interchange, which is where several of our freeways come together. So they have a couple of options here. It's unclear if the officers were able to get the license plates on these bikes, if they even have license plates. Again, they are some sort of dirt bike. So again, unclear what the original want was, but of course, failure to yield is always going to be on top of the list when we have any pursuit, because that's pretty much...
Failure to yield, reckless driving, da-da-da-da-da.
Police try to pull them over, and of course they can get them for at least for reckless driving as well.
Yeah, speaking of reckless driving, the person on the white bike looks to be texting and driving. If you
no way.
Looks like they're going to split here. What split are we
He's checking his phone.
So we're right at the East LA interchange where the 10
El Homer, what's up?
And the 60 and the 101.
Mr. Peggy Hill, how's it going?
So we'll see which freeway they pick. I really won't know until they complete the transition. Okay. But it's actually the busiest interchange in the world. To give you an idea of just kind of some of the traffic they may be facing, especially if they decide to go southbound on the 5. That is very slow at this time of day. Might have been a reason why they went the wrong way.
He's watching himself. Hopefully he's checking my stream.
With the traffic, trying to maneuver which way you're going to go, so I can only imagine what it's like here with them kind of all over the place sometimes.
Thank you. So my pilot Jim actually just got us some information. We were wondering what the want was. He was able to find out from the police ship that it is in fact failure to yield, as we thought.
Okay.
And, of course, also for attempting to pit that motor officer. So
what?
I would only assume that would be considered
what?
a deadly weapon on a peace officer.
Yeah, that's assault with a deadly weapon for sure. What? They tried to knock a cop off his motorcycle? Are you serious?
To pit a CHP officer or motorcycle officer?
Exactly. As incredible as that is to try to comprehend why someone could possibly try to do something so dumb, but apparently they had a motor unit that was following them, because really a motor unit's kind of the only one that's going to be able to keep up with them at this point. But they did have a motor unit behind him, and somehow, I don't know if it was one guy or both, attempted to pit that officer. And
try to knock him off the bike.
The dispatcher was asking to make sure that the officer was okay, and again, fortunately, he said he was fine. But I mean, they're still going to get in trouble for that one. It's still going to be considered assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer.
I was going to say, when we see pursuits and the driver tries to get
chase of the year so far,
we're always thinking,
at least
that's the worst thing you can do, because that is assault. So yeah,
this guy's talking on the phone. How can you even hear anybody?
Yeah, he's clearly on the phone now.
How can you even hear that person?
On speakerphone. I've also seen them look up into the sky, either at your chopper, assuming maybe, you know, you're the authorities, or just maybe looking out to see if that CHP or the sheriff's chopper's overhead.
They need to separate. Yeah, why are they together?
So right at the split between the 5 and the 60, I think they did complete that transition, I believe, to the 60 east. So yeah, so they're continuing eastbound here on the 60 at Lorena, and I'm just trying to hear what the CHP is planning to do on this one, because again, airship only. They do have
another charge for being on the phone.
And I did see the CHP airship when we were arriving as well. That was a CHP unit that just passed by. So we'll see if they try to get behind these guys again. It seems like when they're not behind them,
oh, there's a cop. There he is.
A little bit, drive a little bit better. So we'll see how much the CHP can do on this one with their inability to weave in and out of traffic the way that these two motorcyclists can.
Yeah, we saw a great example of that just now.
This is some GTA shit for real. Yeah.
Behind them, but then no, they're able to maneuver and now take off.
Yeah, and I just heard that officer that we saw. He says he can't chase them. He says there's too much traffic. I need a camera.
Yeah, no shit.
So we won't see that unit get directly behind these guys. And in a way, I think it might be.
Are you heading home? No, no, no. Man, I've been on this way too long to think that, you know, I would get halfway home and it'll end. I'm sticking with my plan for now, at least.
Just before 4 o'clock at 3:53.
I'd have to drive home like during this hour. It would take me like 20 minutes. Take me 20 minutes. This chase probably ain't lasting for another 20 minutes.
Was explaining to us at one point, one of these gentlemen at least
odds are it's going to end
a motor officer
any minute.
CHP, which puzzles us, because how do you do that? But you know, Eliana was explaining, regardless, that is considered typically assault.
Delta 8 Cafe, yeah, we could hit that up.
You know, facing multiple charges at this point. And Eliana, I just go back to that dynamic. You're right. We see.
If I somehow knew this was going to last another hour, I might drive home, but
he's in a car,
I don't think so.
Motorcycles weaving in and out of traffic. They have free reign at this point. And you said there is a chopper overhead?
Yeah, so there's a chopper overhead.
I can't believe the CHP is still sticking with this. Or the fact that they even got involved in the first place.
But they're continuing eastbound here on the 60, coming up at the 710. And yeah, sure enough, I do hear the airship talking on the radio now. So they are still overhead. And all they can really do is just track these guys from above.
Yeah, Harry, this one won't go on long. It just can't.
And the motor unit could
the police won't keep playing around with this for too long.
That would just endanger the life of the officer as well. Knowing that these guys tried to pit another officer earlier on, and knowing that they will very well go the wrong way on the freeway if they need to, it would just endanger the officers a little bit too much. So
yeah, and Coco Creamer's right. They tried to hit a cop, so that does, yeah, that is a big change.
To join the chase, but like this is not going to happen right now, because
like they must really that makes this chase a little different. There's another cop.
Dangerous. There's another officer right there. Let's see what happens this time.
Spacey Gracie, what's up?
So there's a CHP unit. That was close. Wow.
Okay, they're speeding up now.
Real speed, yeah. They saw that unit, so they're out of here. So now they're in the center divider there. That's not a lane. That's where you'd be if you broke down, flat tire, car disabled. And that always really worries me when they do stuff like this, because, of course, if you're there disabled, you're completely helpless. And these guys come speeding at you, not incredibly.
Yeah, yeah, it's serious.
Miles an hour, which will still do quite.
I guess they'll stick with it. But I don't know. I still don't think it'll go on that long. Just from my experience here.
The guy in the front here appears to be a little bit older of the two. He's still on his phone talking to who knows who. But
How could you even use your phone like that?
Eastbound on the 60.
I think that's the thing I'm wondering about, Kathy, is like, what is the plan? You know, they don't clearly happen to have a plan about where they're going. They kind of just seem to be going where the road takes them. And
Hey, Warcraft Andy, welcome. Yeah, they can't carry that much gas, exactly. Like, how long can they really go? I don't know.
Or get a car.
Or that.
They need a car.
Yeah, it very well is possible that they're just trying to get in communication with someone that could possibly stop.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
I've seen that happen in pursuits where people coordinate with a friend and the friend will come and pick them up. One time I covered a pursuit where the guy was in a car and he coordinated with a friend to set up a running motorcycle for him.
Oh, that was the craziest.
Set up a running motorcycle.
Yeah, that was so nuts.
The guy ditches his car, jumps on the bike, and off he went. And he was
Yeah, I had a clip on that like went viral on every platform.
to see what happens on this one.
The clip that I had from that was epic. Really good.
Every time they've been in the far lane, the CHP has been able to come up and, you know, I'm thinking maybe the plan is to be able to get behind them, but I don't know. They're back now on the other side.
Yeah, see them, they're dirt bikes.
Right there in traffic, splitting now. Look at this.
Going against
Wrong
traffic
way.
yet again.
Wow.
Oh, no.
The young man in the blue bike, he's the wrong way. So that is
Oh,
very dangerous.
whoa, they're both on the wrong side.
Wrong way too. Oh gosh.
Getting back on the freeway.
They just want they just want an accident to happen at this point. That is wild. Some of these antics that we're seeing. They're turning around on the freeway now, continuing back now westbound 60.
Okay, so obviously that was somewhat of a plan that they had to do that, or they're following one another. Leads me to believe that maybe they are going to try to, you know, hook up with someone, like have a car, have a place to go. But otherwise, it's just a joyride that is very dangerous.
Absolutely, very dangerous. And I'm just so concerned because
Sorry, Bendo, I can't read all your messages. Like, I am using my phone. It's hard for me to read YouTube messages.
cycling accident without a helmet.
I can read my
Very injured. So the fact that
I can read my Twitch chat on my other phone.
on some sort of dirt bike. I just really hope they would just pull over, quite frankly, because I have a feeling the outcome could be worse.
What did they do? Man, they just ran from the cop. Like the cop, and they tried to knock a motorcycle cop off his bike, supposedly,
There's really nothing
allegedly.
He can't try to block them; they might fall. He can't pit them; they'll get hurt. They can't spike them. So all they can really do is just try to intimidate them and try to get them to just pull over. But clearly, they've had plenty of opportunity, and they continue to try to avoid the police. Now transitioning southbound 710.
And they speed up anytime they see a car behind them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's this cat and mouse situation.
Oh, this looks so dangerous. So dangerous. This stuff makes me really nervous.
Always very busy here at this transition from the 60 to the 710, so that's why we're seeing this traffic, especially on a Thursday afternoon. So any southbound drive that they pick is going to look like this right now, unless they make their way all the way to San
They don't care.
That's where the freeway does open up.
They just go around or in between.
Southbound drive that they pick in this general area is going to be very busy.
What makes me nervous is we've already seen they are willing to take chances. They're willing to go the wrong way and to do some dangerous maneuvers. And I think of the
Is the white bike bigger, or does it just look
You
bigger?
never see them coming, especially when they're splitting lanes. It takes just one driver to make the wrong move or at the worst time, and these motorcyclists are out. You know, I think about what you said earlier, Eliana. It's true. Of all the chases where, you know,
Look at
people
this.
get
Whoa.
away,
So close. Look at that.
Whoa.
so dangerous, so reckless up against that wall. More often than not, it's
Oh, that-
motorcyclists who try to get away in these chases, and it's so frustrating to watch these two just be so brazen about it. And almost like you said, the joyride. It's almost like they're having fun.
And they look very young as well, so they may just not be thinking this one's to the end of what the possible outcome.
Yeah, they are not
would be of,
thinking.
what they're doing. It's one thing to just run away from the police, but the fact that they're also wanted for attempting that pit maneuver on that motor officer, I don't know that they even understand the trouble that they've gotten themselves into.
They call it a pit maneuver in this case. It's kind of funny.
They're able to add additional charges. Because
I keep saying that they just are trying to knock the cop off his bike. I don't know that a pit move, pursuit intervention technique is really a good way to describe it.
We'll add on every single turn, every single violation, and all of that gets added to their charges. So really the best thing they could do at this point is pull over, but they're obviously not going to listen to me if they're not listening to the police. But continuing here,
yeah, the highway patrol.
right at the interchange of the 5 and the 710, I think they completed the transition of the southbound 5. Yep, southbound 5 now on the Santa Ana freeway.
Well, they'd be smart to listen to you, Eliana, but clearly that's not the case here. This is a strange thing I'm going to bring up here, but could the CHP shut down?
No, Harry, they would never do a pit move. The cop would never pit move a guy on a bike.
It's just too risky to get in front of these guys, considering they'd already tried that pit on a motor officer.
Yeah, let me answer your question after I correct myself, Jonathan. They completed the transition, but it continued on to the 710 South. So they're on the 710 South. But to answer your question, yes. And when we first heard about this pursuit, I actually did hear CHP asking for additional units to come in and block off the freeway up ahead. But the motor...
Yo, Ion, thank you.
They were driving the wrong way at the time. They were driving southbound on the northbound lanes of the 5 freeway. So there's really going to be little that the CHP can do, even if when it comes to blocking the freeway, considering that these guys are on a motorcycle, they can just jump in the emergency.
Then yeah, who knows what really happened with that cop thing? Who knows?
They won't turn around on the freeway and go backwards anyway.
Oh, absolutely, and they have.
Sometimes the info that Eliana has is not that great.
Freeway, and when they were on the 5, when this pursuit first kicked off, they were driving the wrong way. So it was a little confusing as we were approaching the scene because we were hearing the CHP say that they were southbound but northbound, and they had a unit paralleling on the opposite side of the freeway. So it was very confusing initially. But again, the pursuit continues southbound on the 710, approaching Washington Boulevard. They've gotten off here before, so let's see if they do it again.
Yeah, I was curious if they were making a move now to change a direction or to get off or to do something, because it does seem like that in a way, but we'll have to wait and see what happens as we continue to follow these two. Right now, CHP really doesn't have many options besides what we were talking about, closing down the freeway. Can't do a pit maneuver, and you can't lay out a spot.
Where's the bingo card, man? I'm not at home, so I got nothing like that. I'm streaming from my phone.
Because they can change lanes at a moment's notice. They've even gone the wrong direction at times.
And we're now 40 minutes into this chase. The best option right now for officers is chasing this like we are from the air. Eliana mentioned we have a sheriff's crew, a chopper overhead. CHP has their air units overhead as well, chasing these people. 2 of them on bikes, wanted for failure to yield, and then the potential of assault with a deadly weapon on an officer. They do seem to be kind of in a pattern somewhat. They really haven't left, Eliana, the East LA area.
They haven't, so that leads me to believe that this is their neighborhood, an area that they're familiar with, because really the furthest we got was about Commerce before they turned around and went back towards East Los Angeles, and they've been on the same freeways, the 710, the 60, and the 5. They really haven't jumped on anything else, so that leads me to believe they're very familiar with this general East LA area, and are probably just trying to figure out when is the right time to try to ditch these bikes, likely at their home or a friend's house, or even a parking structure, the very popular parking structure that we typically see in pursuits, where people think that that's the best way to ditch the vehicle and take off running.
Wanted for failure to yield, yeah, Adam, that's the want initially, I guess. Tried to pull him over, and then, I don't know, they tried to knock off a cop off his motorcycle.
So they may not have any sort of registration at all.
And if they're trying to put distance between themselves and the CHP...
The guy on the blue bike does look really young.
The Sheriff's Department has a helicopter above them, so they are following him just like we are.
Yeah, and they actually have 2 helicopters, so even if the Sheriff's Department were to lose them, the CHP airship is here as well. So they've got 2 sets of eyes on these guys. They've got the media overhead as well, so it's going to be a little bit difficult.
And yeah, I watch them anywhere, but the LA news stations are the ones who really cover it. The other spots in the country don't do it much. When they do, I get on it. Alright, we got a mod who can change it from what if we hit the 30-minute mark, start the 45 one. Sellis, are you still here?
Because we really haven't seen him lead the way for the most part. So continuing though, southbound 710 coming up to Florence. This is actually further south than we've gone, so we'll see if they decide to get off the freeway and go back north.
Or Nest, I guess Nest was here. MK, you go for it.
In real time, while the one on the white bike is also, texting or talking on the phone at times. The other option too, Eliana, I mean, the possibility they run out of gas at any moment.
Wouldn't that be nice, Jonathan? I think that if one of them runs out of gas, I can only imagine that the other one would stick with him.
Not a real mod, okay.
Time, but that is an excellent
Don't worry about it.
We don't know how much gas they started off with, and we don't know how long they were riding prior to the pursuit breaking out. So maybe, no, going to get back on the freeway. It looked like maybe they were going to try to get off there at Florence, but they're going to continue southbound on the 710. I wanted out the shot. I want to see how close the nearest unit is, but I don't see a unit within at least a quarter mile.
So I guess we're doing the 30-minute prediction now.
There were units behind them. They do tend to drive a little bit more dangerously.
And the shoulder's so dangerous. It's not just the proximity to the cars like here where it gets really narrow. There's so much debris that builds up there on the side of the freeways. And with motorcycles, they're just not as forgiving as if they were in a car.
No, I was thinking about that. You try to stay out of that area because you can get flat tires. You try to just, stay out of that area. So I was thinking about that if they were to disable their bikes in some way. But the other thing that makes me nervous, Ileana, is they get so close to some of these cars. And Jonathan, you were saying it, you don't know what a driver's going to do. They may not see them. They're not
you don't know
protected.
if a driver's going to cut you off. Yeah, you don't know if a driver's going to cut you off. If a driver's just not going to see you. It's always extra dangerous when you're on a motorcycle on the freeway. So the danger level really is highest for them than it really is for anybody else. But they continue to trek along.
Spacey, Gracie, as far as I know, they didn't steal the bikes.
On the white bike, he was still on his phone there just a second ago, and he is now. He was signaling to his friend some sort of instructions, but hard to say what the game plan is here. But using that right shoulder to get by, this is not a
Thank you, Nest.
no carpool on the southbound 710. So this is the emergency lane. This is where you'd be if you got a flat. This is where you'd be if you were disabled. So it really does make it dangerous for anybody who may be up ahead in this lane.
I'm looking at a note from our assignment.
Did it work? The title change?
Fueled may be able to travel anywhere between 50 and 80 miles, obviously given how fast they're going. But yeah, I mean, that's not a long distance. Certainly not what a car can do or maybe a regular motorcycle.
Yeah,
cool,
really
thanks.
Isn't a lot, all things considered, and when you think about how long we've been following this, and knowing that it started off maybe about 10 minutes prior to that, they've been riding for quite a while. So we'll start to see indications of them maybe start to run out of gas. If you see them start to shake the bike, they're just trying to get a little more gas in there by moving it around a bit. So if we see them start to kind of shake around the bike, then that's how we'll know that they're probably starting to run out of gas.
All right, right now we want to bring in CHP Officer Luis Quintero. Luis,
Ain't no way we got Luis on this, too.
Officer, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us as we follow this very reckless and dangerous case here.
No way, Luis.
Right now we're in Southgate. This is tricky, to say the least, right? We've seen some CHP cruisers get very close, but obviously, they can't get close enough. These guys are just weaving in and out of traffic. What is the strategy here? Do you just stick with it from the air at this point?
So that's exactly what we're doing right now. First of all, thank you for having me. Our airship is following, our helicopter is following this pursuit, and it's very difficult for our cruisers on the ground to maneuver through traffic. We are seeing moderate to heavy traffic, which is why it makes it even more dangerous.
He's doing TikToks maybe. He's trying to make content.
Using all lanes, the center divider, the right shoulder. So we're if you're going through the area of this East LA Commerce 710 heading southbound, we advise motorists to just be aware, don't make any abrupt movements, and just remain calm. Our officers are trying to catch up. We're going to stay behind these vehicles until they either voluntarily give up, they run out of gas, or somehow become disabled, and we're hoping no accidents occur since they're like all over the roadway at this moment.
Yeah, Officer Quintero, two of the things that trouble me the most is that they're willing to go the wrong direction on freeways, and also this trying to do a pit maneuver with a CHP officer. Have you heard any more about that?
It looks like these riders are doing everything they can to try to get away from our officers, and we're going to stick to them. They could be dangerous, and
the cop not saying anything about that.
Our officers are continuously evaluating.
He dodged the question about the cop getting knocked off the bike or whatever.
We're going to stay right behind them, and we're going to hope for the best and hope they just voluntarily give up.
Officer, how frustrating is this, to watch in real time, knowing that you're cruisers can't get right behind them. We know you have the airships overhead, but still, this has got to be...
It's not even necessarily that the cop had to lie. It's just so, like, the news people get, like, very conflicting, sketchy, very questionable information a lot. So they may have heard that somehow, and it was never true. Yeah, I don't know.
Our officers are staying behind them as much as they're navigating through this traffic. It's very frustrating.
Did someone try to throw shit out? I didn't see that.
We are going through a state of emergency here in the Los Angeles region, and our officers are working hard trying to stop individuals like these, and they're like reevaluating and assessing the situation, but they're going to stay hard. They're going to stay right behind these individuals.
And have you ever seen anything like this? When we heard that we were going to be following here a situation with people on 2 dirt bikes, that was a new one. And then, like I said, them trying to do a pit maneuver on an officer.
So
thanks, MK.
Not new to the highway patrol. Just recently, we were in pursuit of 2 trucks. At the same time, they did split ways, and both individuals were actually apprehended by our officers. So officers are trained for these pursuits, for these incidents, and having our CHP helicopter overhead is going to definitely give us that advantage. We're just advising the public, be aware if you're driving through this East LA area, City of Commerce. Our officers are out there. We're currently in pursuit, and these guys are using the entire roadway, so just be aware, don't make any abrupt movements, and just remain calm.
Realistically speaking, officer, could you shut down a freeway ahead of these 2 gentlemen, or is that just not realistic, and is it risky given that they're coming at officers?
There's multiple tactics that we could use. The California Highway Patrol, we have officers trying to get in position, trying to get ahead, trying to outsmart these individuals. So we're working hard. We're working very closely. We got multiple officers in there.
They're working hard.
Get this completely closed down and see if we can bring this to an end pretty soon here.
All right, we're in Linwood, west on the 105. What charges would these 2 motorcycle riders be facing at this point?
So they're facing reckless felony evading. They're using the entire roadway. The reasons for the stop, which was they were recklessly driving, they were racing in the streets of East LA City. So there's multiple charges at this moment, and we're hoping they just completely give up. There's nowhere to go really, and our officers and our airship is staying right.
Yeah, guys, they won't do any type of pit move or spike strip or anything like that.
They run out of gas, so hopefully become disabled.
We're getting more information from our folks in the newsroom. You know, that some of the shaking they've been doing could be them trying to determine how much...
Yeah, we've seen that before. Guys will shake the bike to, like, try and keep it going if they're running out of gas or checking how much gas they got, whatever.
This is not a regular motorcycle. These are dirt bikes, and that's...
And yeah, I don't know how fast these can go.
And also, Kathy, if you notice, they were moving slower for a good moment there as they try to figure out where to go next.
And they're communicating a lot between each other. And we've seen one of them, the one on the white bike, on the phone constantly.
Nobody's done anything to try and kick me out of this parking lot yet. Oh, that person yelling at them.
Given that they're dirt bikes?
Oh.
These motorcycles do not belong in the highway.
What? Civilian interaction.
So that's another charge on top of that. They're not wearing the right equipment, a helmet. So there's multiple things that they're violating here. Officers are trying to bring an end to this as safe and as soon as possible. We don't know exactly what they're going to do, and we're hoping for a good outcome.
Well, look at this. It looks like that one driver was motioning to them a little bit. So I don't know
that driver trying to be one of the guest stars of this thing.
But there was definitely some motioning there. And that was one of our ideas, officer, is that they might try to get a car or get some help from someone, because we've seen that before.
That could be a possibility. It seems like they're panicking at this time, and they're just trying to get away. They don't really have a good plan.
Chase sniper, yeah.
They don't have anything.
Exactly.
At this moment, our officers are going to stay behind them. There's nowhere to go, and you could tell they're starting to feel that pressure. Our helicopters overhead, and at this point, there's nowhere to really go.
All right, Officer Quintero, thank you so much for your time. We want to go back up right now to our Eliana Moreno overhead in News Chopper 4. Eliana, We did get some new information from Officer Luis Quintero with CHP mentioning that their initial want was reckless driving.
Hey there, Jonathan. Yeah, and as Officer Quintero was talking, the two riders...
Oh, what? What?
Yeah, and look at this. My father, Jim's father, was just pointing these guys out.
There's more? What?
A group of bikers that is...
What?
I'm not going to say joining...
What? There's another one.
They were just in the area. Let's cross our fingers that this isn't some sort of coordinated effort here by our two guys in the pursuit to try to blend in with a group of riders. But it just so happened to be, I guess, that there was a group of riders.
And there's a guy on an ATV, too.
Parallel to the 105 freeway. We're near the Wilmington Avenue exit. I'll widen out the shot so we can see how many guys are out here. There's a...
What?
Okay. Yeah, this
What?
I can't say that this is a circumstance that they just happen to fall into a group of other riders. We do know that one guy in the pursuit, the one on the white bike, he was on his phone for an awful long time. So I don't know if...
He called all his friends, man. Flash mob.
And if they were dumb enough to come out here...
That one's doing a wheelie. Look at him go.
When this pursuit comes to
Yo, what? He's been doing it for so long.
It's already dangerous, even more dangerous.
What the fuck?
Is beyond me.
All right, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see if these...
How long can he do that? Okay.
stick with you and are with them, or if they're just trying to convince them to pull over. But right now, they are sticking with them, and it is a bunch. This is the strangest thing. I tell you what.
Okay, but those are the two original guys.
With them, so maybe they were just trying to...
Oh, they're pulling a gas station. Are they going to get gas? Yo, they're going to try to get gas.
Where they pull over and get gas right in the middle of a chase.
They're,
and then they're
oh my God.
50 to 80 miles, and no, they're clearly with these people. This is not a coincidence.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Of course it's not a coincidence.
I can't call
He's-
people to come save me in a pursuit, and somehow these...
He hasn't grabbed the pump yet, though.
Their buddies to come out, and to come out in a very coordinated effort on their bikes as well.
Oh, he's got it now. Right? Or no, not yet? Not yet.
Well, there's no units here.
Well, they haven't paid for anything yet.
We've got the helicopters overhead. We've got the helicopters over...
They got to go inside and pay cash.
Yeah, so the friend is going to pay.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Here we go. He's getting gas.
and they're going to try to get as much gas as they can before the units pull up. But again, there were no units here.
This is ridiculous.
So the helicopters are now coordinating the response here from the ground units to try to get some patrol units to the Chevron gas station to detain these guys. And now they're not only going to be focusing on the two original individuals, they're also going to want to detain...
He's getting gas, too. They're both getting gas.
But you can see the guy on the white bike already fueled up, and now we've got the rider there in the blue, who is on the blue bike rather, who is also fueling up. But I'm going to wind out the shot just a bit. I want to see if we see...
Where are the police? And yeah, if that guy used a credit card, man, they're going to know who you are now. Look at this guy.
The friend there doing a wheelie, showing off for the camera. Again, we see
What city is this? This is in LA.
He was just shaking his bike, so that's kind of what I was telling you earlier. They were going to try to shake it to try to get a little more
Shake it.
gas in there. So you see him there moving the bike back and forth. He got some gas. The friend in the blue got some gas as well, and I have a feeling we're going to be back on the road here.
There's no way.
It's got full tanks, so they might be on the road for a while.
They have full tanks, and now we have someone who's now complicit in this. People here on motorcycles and look, we got a new tank, and now we can do a wheelie. This is one of the most ridiculous things, Eliana, I have ever witnessed.
It's pretty ridiculous, but it's also very dangerous, and it changes the whole dynamic for the CHP and for authorities here, because we're dealing with dozens of people now.
And you wonder if they're thinking, oh, we have strength in numbers, we can certainly get away, but if anything, the CHP has more motorcycles to follow. All they need to get is one of these 12 or 14 people who are down there on the ground, and then hopefully have them sing and you know, try to get the other people in trouble as well. They're all complicit
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah, absolutely. Any
this.
one of these guys can get detained, and the police will ask, well, who are your buddies? And I don't know how good of a friend they are, but I can guarantee you, when they're facing possible jail time, that they're going to give them their name, and that's when they'll be able to get them, even if they're not able to get them today. But it's really frustrating, more than anything, to see the efforts.
Look at that guy. He's got his knee up on the seat.
Hour or so to try to detain these guys, and I could almost see the light at the end of the tunnel, because I was thinking they're probably going to run out of gas here and this is going to be over. The danger that they're posing to everyone on the roadway will have passed. But now that they've got full tanks and now they've got an army behind them, it really makes it more difficult for law enforcement.
They also have a debit card information at that gas station and a timestamp and who paid for that and how much they paid. But, you know, I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, I have no doubt that eventually they'll catch these people. I'm just wondering how they're going to do it. But, Eliana, this just ramps it up for the CHP. They're just going to want to stop them more than ever. So while they were simply following two motorcycle riders, now they're going to be more determined to bring this group to a halt here because it's so dangerous for the other drivers.
Yeah, and I just got a note actually from one of my coworkers, and he made an excellent point. We saw the friend pay for the gas. Well, if he used his own personal card, now they have his name.
He might have gone inside to pay with cash.
And get the information.
I don't know. They waited there long enough.
So even if these guys are able to somehow avoid the authorities and get away, they can simply go back to that gas station there off of Imperial and Success and get the credit card information for the person who paid.
Of course, we're talking about people who clearly aren't thinking this through. They're joyride, having fun, thinking this is hilarious, and they're causing a
kinda is hilarious.
out there in the community.
Just saying, kinda is.
And I really believe they know they're going to get caught eventually, and they're just having fun. Yeah,
You think you saw one? Yeah, most likely that's what happened.
They know. They know. It's just really dangerous for other people.
And it's so frustrating, Eliana, using resources, using the officers to try to chase them, the airships overhead, our resources. It's just a waste of time. And I think that's what's so ridiculous to me watching this in real time and how much this has grown. How many people are we talking about now? Could you widen up just a little bit?
Yeah, let's widen out. I'm going to put it at about a dozen, but I think...
Is that a cop?
There's a cruiser.
There's a cop right in the middle of them.
I counted at about 18.
Did you? Oh my gosh, yeah, it's really incredible. And as you said, just a waste of resources. When you think about all that law enforcement in the LA area has gone through in the last week with our fires, being on tactical alert this entire time, which means they don't get to go home to their families. They have to stay on shift for very long shifts. And when they do get to go home, it's very short periods of rest before they're back out on the front lines of the fires.
They had a few ATVs now.
To know that people would just waste valuable resources like that and waste their time knowing everything that our community is going through. But again, until somebody falls off a bike and gets hurt, I don't think these guys are going to stop.
That guy was out on his feet. What's he doing?
As long as they can. And now that the two guys that kicked this off have full tanks, who knows how long we might be following.
All right, we're going to let you get some information. Stay with your picture right here. Incredible, but now it's all coming clear for me. I understand.
He ran over from the side of the street?
CHP officer, because there's just no logical thought to this. This is insane.
There is no thought as we approach here. They're on Imperial Highway. This is around the 110 and 105 interchange. They've been mostly, because they've been split on the streets and on the freeway.
No, wait, the guy, I can see the two guys who were originally in it, and they're going with them now.
In the East LA area, that happened around 3.
Yeah, it's those two right there in the center who are the two that started this.
Exact location. We understand they've made their way over to like the 110, 105 split.
Yeah, and they're still on Imperial Highway, which runs parallel to the 105. It kind of interwinds with the 105, but for the most part, it runs on the north side of the 105 through here. We're approaching Denver Avenue, so we are in South Los Angeles. We're not far from the 10 freeway. I widen out the shot. There's the nearest intersection, the major intersection coming up is going to be Hoover, and they continue to do wheelies up and down Imperial Highway here. And it's just dangerous because they could very easily fall. And a fall even at these speeds is still going to be very painful. And I have a feeling that...
We're almost about to hit 45 minutes.
And hopefully that would bring things to an end and they try to render aid to their friend. But for now, they're still good to go. They've got full tanks and they've got a little army here on Imperial Highway in the South Los Angeles area.
Eliana, if they stay on Imperial Highway, they're going to hit LAX eventually. How does that complicate things, given that the chase is really happening from only the air?
It will complicate things because then we're going to have those flight restrictions with LAX, and even for the police ships, it can be a problem. Sometimes the LAX controller, even though they want to allow them in, they can't. Sometimes they have too many planes landing or taking off, and it's just simply impossible. So that is a time when it might be possible for them to get out of the sight of the law enforcement airship and get away. We've seen a number of pursuits as of late where people will go to LAX, perhaps knowing that the airship can't follow them, and then they go into a parking structure. Now, there's a lot of cameras in those parking structures, and eventually they can figure out where the person went, but at least immediately it is an opportunity for them to get away.
Well, we asked what the plan is, and it looks like they're stopped here, and it looks like they were talking. They might be trying to come up with a plan of which direction to go. Who knows?
And you mentioned something earlier, Kathy, just about they're just out having fun. Some of them were recording this. They got out off their bikes to record with their cell phones.
Hey, this is good content. I don't blame them.
And then now they're back out. We want to remind our viewers, you're watching the NBC4 News at 5 o'clock. Following this chase, it initially involved 2 dirt bikes wanted for reckless driving that started in the East LA area just before 4 p.m. We've been on the chase since about 4:15, and within the last 20 minutes, we saw those 2 riders join up with about 16 other, mostly dirt bike riders. There are some ATVs out there. We're now in the South LA area.
What started the chase? Being curious. It was reckless driving. The 2, I can see the 2 people who started it. They're side by side right there.
Actually saw one of the new riders that joined them slide a card and get them.
Thanks, MK.
Off again. They're doing wheelies. They are circling in and out of traffic. So far, staying together. And Ileana, the problem is you can't pit them. You can't spike strip them. Now we don't know which direction they're going. They're not on a freeway to shut down a freeway. So I'm wondering, have you heard what the plan is besides following them in the airship?
So my pilot, James Pollard, was pointing out that there was a police unit in the area where we just were a second ago. But again, there's very little that these ground units can do. They can't pit them. I mean, there's force in numbers. They want to pit a motorcycle anyway, but they can't pit them. They can't spike them. They're obviously not going to run out of gas now. So really, all they can do is continue.
These guys went and got gas. Man, it's rare to see people actually get away with pumping gas. That guy who's doing a wheelie right now is the original guy. And then that little blue bike by him is the other guy. Those are the 2 original guys right there.
When you guys first tossed to me, I was saying, hey, it's incredible. We've got 2 motorcycles. Who would have thought it would have been?
They're the ones who got gas.
On this pursuit. But the 2 original guys, they're right there next to each
And yeah, Nest, I don't know. Maybe this is like interfering with a whatever, right? Interfering with an arrest.
I was about to ask you, where were the initial 2? I got lost in this giant crowd here of motorcyclists. One thing to point out, Eliana, these are not.
It's those 2 right there.
At all. CHP stressing that they're not typically registered like normal vehicles. So even if they were to dump the bike,
yeah, it's those 2.
necessarily to be able to find a home address.
Blue bike, and then the one that's got like the red tire.
To these bikes, but,
White bike with like red tire. The guy's doing, both of them are doing wheelie right now. Those are the original 2.
Talking about how frustrating this is to watch, to not be able to bring this to a stop. And certainly that was when there was 2. Now there's potentially, a dozen and a half. This is wild.
Makes you wonder if they were all together at some point earlier today, street racing or doing whatever, and then split up and then got back together. Because the initial 2, the one that was on the white bike, I believe that's him, there in the center of the screen, was on the phone. All constant.
Texting and calling the entire time, yes.
Yeah, he was on the phone for a long time when he was on the freeway, and of course it's impossible for us to know who he was in communication with, but somehow he was able to coordinate this response from his so-called friends to come out here to the South LA area with their off-road vehicles. As you said, none of them street legal, and as far as I can tell, most of them aren't wearing helmets. Some of them are, thank goodness, and so if they were to fall, it might help a little bit, but even with a helmet, a fall at these speeds would still seriously injure someone, if not.
The cops were so far away, they stopped and got gas.
But the two original guys, they're still there, buddies, right next to each other. Probably can't believe that they were able to get their friends to come out here in such numbers. And now the police aren't anywhere to be seen because, again, they're not trailing them from behind. It's really impossible at this point.
Yeah, and it's really just a spectacle at this point. We wanted to let our viewers know about it because it does pose a danger. They're being reckless, and other drivers are out on the road. But at this point, they're just showing off, and the CHP and we'll continue to follow them. So there will be an outcome here. We will let you know, but we have other important stories that we need to cover today.
Oh no, they're going away from it. Okay, is there any other news station on this? Can anybody tell me?
Impacted by the Palisades and Eaton fires, we're finally heading home. Good evening. We want to thank you for being here. I'm Jonathan Gonzalez, in for Michael Brown.
And I'm Kathy Barr, in for Colleen tonight. We want to show you footage from News Chopper 4 earlier of people
There's an IG live
to their homes in Altadena. We can tell you that the death toll now stands at 27.
I wish I was at home. That would be easy.
Fires combined. Earlier today,
ALS, welcome.
At least a week before
Appreciate it. Thank you for subbing. I think this is going to be it. Call him Cash? Really? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay, that should be a screen saver now, right? Call him Cash. Okay.
We're not departure.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna show this. Okay, hold on.
They want to go downtown, so we're not going. What you say, gang? What you say, gang? Hey, Wes! I'm on my way to the city, so I can hop on the 400. I'm on my way to the bike right there. They want to go downtown. Fuck it, we're going downtown, man. I'm on. Look, I'm at LAX, no cap. Look. We're going downtown, man. Fuck it. Y'all going back downtown?
The hurricane donations, no, they're just like.
It's ugly right now, y'all. I'm about to just. You hear me? Y'all really got it lit on Bundy on Sunday. I can't wait. I'm popping out the shit show. Dead home. There's too many bike hops behind us now. You know I'm popping out now. I gotta pop out. Bro, there's so many bike hops. What you gonna lock y'all watching my live, bitch? Go straight. Oh, then go to the left. Airport exit, left, airport exit. Do y'all thing, I'm on my way to the city. Boom, we got the helicopters behind us. The helicopter's back. The helicopter's not on the door. The
They stopped. They came flying fast right here. Going past Fairchild. They going past they came flying.
Alright, it looks like
I'm about to go cash on the bike right now.
so I'm gonna switch over to that here in a second. Because I don't even know what the hell's going on. This is chaos. Okay, I'm switching. Hold on. This is really interesting right now. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Okay, can you guys see this? Are we on this right? Does it look right? Yeah, okay. There's no audio on this one right now, unless I have it turned off. I do. Okay.
They can cut through the park. So that's the intimidation factor that these units, these motor officers can say, you know, basically...
Streaming from your phone. Yeah, I'm on my phone because I was down here doing an IRL stream, and then this started. So I'm sitting in my car.
We were in the pursuit, stopped. They had time to stop for fuel. Now they're all fueled up.
Eliana's back. We got to stick with this one for now.
CHP can also switch out, Gil. They can switch out their motor officers, so they are not going to run out of gas. We've seen that happen
Split screen, I wish. If I was at home, maybe.
These guys don't seem intimidated at all. In fact, it seems like they're taunting the officers and waving
Cold light, welcome.
Helicopters that were overhead, showing off, doing wheelies on their cell phones, perhaps live streaming exactly what's happening.
Yeah, there's a lot of cops now.
It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and here we are at Manchester. Heavy traffic there.
Whoa.
They're going right up into those cars. Now the motorcycle officers are pulling in there so that they can get through.
This is so absurd.
So they realize, hey, these officers on their motorcycles can keep up with us. We're in trouble because we're eventually going to need fuel, and we're going to have to jump off and run to get away from these guys.
Gosh, I've been looking at some of the top 10 motorcycles and with the longest range, and if any of these guys have one of these bikes, you know, whether it's a Kawasaki or whatever it might be, it can go on a full tank 275 miles. So this can go on and on and on, you know. But, you know, that's not the case. We don't know what kind of bikes they're on, so I'm just giving you what the top 10 motorcycles' longest range looks like. So, you know, you would think that at one point or another that they're going to have to do a little bit more than just intimidation and get these guys into custody, or whoever it is that they are really focused on, which I would think is the one who
the NBC is also on this, but their vantage point is basically the same. They're losing it.
Yeah, so we are going into the
because of the no-fly zone
airspace right now, and so we are zooming into this CHP pursuit of multiple motorbikes, and there you can see we're doing our best to keep up with it. Again, we are restricted from this airspace at LAX, and so that is where Sky 5 is right now, is outside of that airspace and trying to keep an eye on those motorbikes.
What happened to Livestream? I just got to pick one or the other, man.
Yes, it started out with two, right? And then all of a sudden we saw them on the phone. We don't know if they were calling their buddies, live streaming, texting people to come join in, but pretty soon we saw them pull into a gas station, and one by one.
Yeah, it looks like both news stations that are on it have just lost it due to the no-fly zone.
Now they have really amped it up with the motorbikes behind them, the CHP motorbikes and one cruiser. It started just before 4 o'clock.
So I'm gonna give them another minute, then maybe I'll try to switch back to that IG
violation, which was failure to yield. Of course, it's illegal to be out on the freeways without a helmet here in California, so they did not pull over. These are not bikes the original two not made for the freeways, right? No turn signals, no license plates on them, so they're not street legal. So that was the original want. They tried to pull them over, they took off, and then if we have seen, more people have joined in. At one point, they were going the wrong way on the freeway, wrong way on street.
Is this your IG feed? Okay, hold on. Let's see if it's still going. It is. This guy's counting. What? He's showing up. What?
Let's
This
go!
is too silly,
Let's go! Let's go! They can't fuck with us, man! Hey, if y'all missed it, y'all missed it! They can't... Whoa! Whoa! Did I? Whoa! Look at the left. Let's go! I caught Lester, man. Everybody good? I'm about to right now. Hey, I'm getting on live now, though, Joey. So they can't find us.
Oh, he ended it. Alright, he ended it. Okay, what's happening over here? Are they going? Yeah, alright, guys. I think this is gonna be it. I think it's gonna be over here. I mean, I'm still looking for other news stations, all that, but doesn't look good right now. I think they lost them. I mean, they probably haven't lost the police, but they lost the news stations. So it is what it is there. So I don't know how long I've been live. Yeah, no, there's something. They're on the other. They're not even doing this anymore. So I don't know how long I've been live or anything. We could probably assume. How long have I been live exactly here? I'm trying to figure out the prediction. All right, pay the prediction out as yes, and then we're done. We're done. Call it here. Okay, everyone. I am downtown Nashville right now, and I'm going to go back to doing my live stream, IRL stream down here. So come over to Twitch, join me. If you're already on Twitch, stay with me. I'm going to go live again just in a second, okay?